Hello students, myself Karishma Datta from Saraswat International Academy. I am going to teach to standard 8th English medium, subject social science, chapter number 1, arrival of European in India, part 3. Okay students, before moving with the topic of today's, that is Battle of Plessy, we shall do the revision of part 1 and part 2. Part 1 we have seen the introduction of the chapter, that is arrival of European in India. In that we have seen how Indian products were in so much of demand in European countries, and first the trade was done from the land route and the land route was been closed out, so the European felt the demand in their country, so they found a new sea route to India. And the first person who went to found a sea route to India was Christopher Columbus, but he was in a misconception of finding a new country, that is India, but he found that is America. Then who found the sea route to India? That is Vasco da Gama found the sea route to India. And we have seen the end of Portuguese rule, then how the Dutch came to India, then the British interest in India, then the French came to India, then British trade in Bengal, and slowly how the British started capturing the states of India. And we have seen last that how was the battle of Plessy is going to be held, that we are going to see in this topic. So we'll move on with the topic, that is Battle of Plessy. Siraj ud Daulah became the Nawab of Bengal in the year 1756. Okay, what they're saying over here, Siraj ud Daulah became the Nawab in the year 1756. He had an overwhelming influence over the British. He was not having a very good influence over the British. Next, the British helped the competitors of Siraj ud Daulah by conspiring against him so that he would not remain on the throne of Bengal. Okay, what was being seen over here? The competitors of Siraj ud Daulah and Britishers were favoring the competitors and they were against him, so they would not remain on the throne of Bengal. Who cannot remain on the throne of Bengal? That is Siraj ud Daulah. Next, there were frequent conflicts with the British merchants regarding payment of tax. Okay, there was a frequent means lagatar. Frequent conflict was being seen with the British traders. Okay, regarding what? That is payment of tax, and we know that Britishers were allowed not to give what? That is tax. Okay, and because of that, the Bengal income started reducing in Bengal. When the British merchant failed to pay tax which were applicable to both Indians and foreign merchants, the situation came to a boil. Okay, when the British failed to pay taxes, right, when they failed to pay taxes which were applicable to both Indian and the foreign merchants, the situation came to a boil, right? First, British failed to pay the tax, but it was applicable for both Indians and even that is the foreigner merchants, right? And because of that reason, the situation came to a boil, right? Next, he ordered that the British should not fortify the factory, may pay the tax as per the rules and trade as per the terms and condition, right? First they were not said to be paying the tax, but now it was ordered to the Britishers to do what? That is fortify the factory and pay what? That is taxes as per rules and trade as per the terms and condition. That was the order given to whom? That is to the Britishers. Then next, this provocation was enough for Siraj to opt for war, and he succeeded in expelling the 1.6 Sirajud-Daulah from Kolkata. Now what they're saying over here, the provocation was enough for Siraj to opt for a war. That means the British provocated to whom? That is Sirajud-Daulah. To opt for war means to start for a wall, and he succeeded in expelling the British from Calcutta. Who was succeeded in expelling the Britishers from Calcutta? That is Sirajud-Dowla. Next, the British counter-attacked under the leadership of Robert Clive. Counter-attack means when the war was started, the British counter-attacked in the favor of whom? That is the in the leadership of Robert Clive. Robert Clive bribed Mir Zafar, the commander-in-chief of Sirajud-Dowla, with a promise to confer the throne of Bengal to him and convinced him to join their side. Okay, Clive bribed, that means rishwat di gayi, right? To whom? That is the commander in chief of Sirajud-Dowla, that is Mir Zafar. Okay, and they promised Mir Zafar that if Mir Zafar would help them to defeat Sirajud-Dowla, they would be giving the throne of Bengal to whom? That is to Mir Zafar, and in this way British were able to convince him to join their side. Next, with the help, Robert Clive defeated and murdered Sirajud-Dowla in the Battle of Plassey. Right? What they're saying over here, that with the help of Mir Zafar, they were able to defeat Sirajud-Dowla, Sirajud-Dowla, and in which battle? That is the Battle of Plassey. Next, this was the first war fought by the company in India, which marked the beginning of the British rule in India. Okay, now what they're saying over here, this was the first war fought by the company in India, which marked the beginning of the British rule in India. That showed that how much the Britishers are stronger. By the Battle of Plassey, it was been shown, and that was the first war, and the first war was being won by the Britishers. So they became what? That is more powerful, and British rule began in India. Next, thus the war is considered to be the turning point in the history of India. Obviously, the turning point in the history of India, because they came as a trader in India. Right? Who came as a trader in India? That is the Britishers. They came as a trader. How they occupied the different territories of India, and how that desire, their greediness of getting more income, converted them to capture the regions and to show their more power. The battle was being held, and this is considered to be the turning point of in the history of India. Now we shall move with the another battle, that is the Battle of Buxar. First point, as promised, the British East India Company appointed Mir Zafar as the Nawab of Bengal. Robert Clive also went back to England. Okay, we know that the Battle of Plassey. How was the Battle of Plassey been won by the Britishers? As they convinced Mir Zafar, commander-in-chief of Sirajud-Dowla, to come to their side. And what promise was been done by the Britishers to Mir Zafar? That if Mir Zafar would help the Britishers to defeat whom? That is Sirajud-Dowla, they will be making Mir Zafar as what? As the Nawab of Bengal. Okay, and the Britishers won the war as Mir Zafar helped them. So as a promised, East India Company appointed Mir Zafar as what? As a Nawab of Bengal. Next, with the passage of time, Mir Zafar became hostile towards the British. Okay, what they're saying, that with the passage of time, what was being seen, like Mir Zafar became hostile means unfriendly. He was not that much good towards whom? That is to the Britishers. Next, the company decided to replace him with his son-in-law. Okay, why? Obviously Britishers, whomsoever they made their partner for a greediness. Now by seeing the nature of Mir Zafar, they found it that Mir Zafar cannot benefit them for a long period of time. So what they did, they replaced him with his son-in-law. So Mir Qasim, his son-in-law was Mir Qasim. Mir Qasim was an efficient, disciplined and clever ruler. How was Mir Qasim? Mir Qasim was son-in-law of whom? That is Mir Zafar. Okay, so he was very much efficient, a very disciplined and a clever ruler. Who? That is Mir Qasim. The problem arose between Nawab and the company on account of non-payment of the taxes. Okay, now the problem arises between the Nawab, that is Mir Qasim, and the company on account of what? Not paying the tax, which ultimately brought both the forces face to face with each other. Okay, what they're saying over here, the non-payment of taxes by the Britishers, okay, that problem arose and ultimately brought both the forces, that is the Nawab force and even the British force, face to face with each other. In 1763, Mir Qasim was defeated by the company, but he escaped. Right? Means again the battle was held with Mir Qasim. Again, and what they're saying that Mir Qasim escaped. That means वो भाग गए. Okay, who? That is Mir Qasim. Next, he reorganized his army along with their force of Nawab of Awadh, Shuja-ud-Dawla, and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam too. Again he reorganized. Again he collected. He reorganized his army with the help of whom? That is the Nawab of Awadh, Shuja-ud-Dawla, and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. Their combined force met the company force at Buxar in 1764. What they're saying over here, again a battle was held in 1764, and where did the force met? At Buxar. Okay. The British East India Company won the war. Who won the war? The British East India Company, and all of a sudden Bengal, Awadh, and the Mughal Empire was under their control, right? Whichever regions were in the control of the Nawab, that all were being now captured, surrendered, or controlled by whom? That is by the Britishers. They all surrendered in themselves. Robert Clive was sent to India to take control of the situation. That means Robert Clive, who went after Battle of Plassey, came back to India to manage or to take control over the situation. That's how the East India Company, a trading company, merged as a political power in the subcontinent of India. See, slowly, as in the Battle of Plassey, the Britishers showed their power by defeating the Siraj-ud-Dawla, the powerful Bengal Nawab. Okay, at that time, whoever was controlling Bengal was controlling the whole country. That much strong Bengal was at that time. Okay, that Bengal was also being captured. Robert Clive came back to India to control the situation, and now the trading company, that is the traders who came to India just for trade, now merged as a political power in the subcontinent of India. And student, over here we conclude with a chapter. Here a chapter gets completed. Okay, and theory will be given to you of two questions will be given to you as theory. So you need to write that theory with the day and date. Okay, and here we complete with a chapter, and with the next video we'll be starting with a new chapter, and we'll be starting with the second chapter. So you need to write the theory of this chapter with day and date, and whenever you will come to the school here, then we will be checking your theory part. Okay, student, the theory part, that is write in detail about the Battle of Plassey. That is 4 or 5 marks. It will be asked in the exam. Okay, and second is the give a brief introduction of Battle of Buxar. Right, point wise it has been shown to you, and even the PDF will be sent to you. So you need to write these 2 questions. Okay, that is write a detail about Battle of Plassey and give a brief information on Battle of Buxar. Student, a very important thing that is to be noted by you, that is you need to write 2-mark answer, 3-mark answer, and 5-mark answers. That is short answers, brief answer, and detailed answers in points. No doubt 4 points are there, 5 points are there, 6 points are there. You need to write it in points. It is very beneficial for you. So write it down in your notebook. And these 2 topics are explained in a very clear form to you, so you can write directly from it.